What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we are taking Bonds of Bravery, actually Bonds of Courage, against a Agumon deck for BT-6. Let's see these both Titans of Rookie Rush. They both do the same exact thing in a different way. They use their security. We're trying to use it like a security control deck where we use a bunch of Digimon options that are very powerful to help remove threats on boards that our opponent is just going to be trying to play, which is very important to us. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video and let's dive right in. My opponent will be going first. He flips up a Digimon to Digivolve into the Commandermon with 5000 DP. I am just getting my opening hand. He will be doing a lot of crazy stuff. I get the Tai Cameo, which is super important for Bonds of Friendship. I mean, Bonds of Courage. My bad. There are too many Bonds cards in this game to keep track a little bit. I mean, there's only two, but hey. Then he plays down the Commandermon that gets to recycle itself if it's deleted, which is a big problem for me because I need to delete his Digimon and not worry about it. But then there's always the problem of me not having a right memory. So I Digivolve into the Agumon off the Demi-Meramon for 1 memory. So let's see what happens here. And I get an Atomic Blaster to help ease the board off a bit. They're a little beefier than I like. Security check. I get the Agumon here. That deletes his Agumon. Commandermon. So he gets a couple Commandermon options. He's choosing that Commandermon. And the rest go to the bottom of the deck after the reveal. So he's got a Commandermon out. He swings in with the 6000 DP Commandermon. I get an Atomic Blaster. I'm like, what am I going to do here? And he's at 6000, sadly. That is the only downside. So I'm like, we're just gonna blow up the big guy here. At least remove it off the board, get some control going, which is very important. I mean, I could have probably went a different route, left that in check. Then if he gave me at least enough to go into what I need to, it'd be better. So I'm gonna draw. You get another Agumon that can boost. I go up to 2, which draw me a card, helps me out because of the tie. I'm like, what do I do here? I need a lot of memory just to get going. Like, do I just blow up 1? Do I Digivolve up here? I'm like contemplating. I go for the Atomic Blaster to control the board. I should have just given him the 5, to be honest with you. Had I went in a different route, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to get rid of that 5000 DP Commandermon, so it doesn't really matter. So I think this was the best optimal play. I could have Digivolved up, I could have swung in and stuff like that, but a 4000 beat stick is not going to get there. I wish I went probably with the Agumon that is 3200. He Digivolves up. He has a Commandermon off of his Mishimon. Then he plays down a Commandermon yet again, 5000 DP. So I draw. I'm gonna hatch. I'm gonna Digivolve my Koromon I just hatched into Agumon. We get a Greymon out of this deal. I could try to choke him out. Like debating, I need to remove that body, but he's got a 5000 DP. It stays because he is 5000 DP and it can only delete 4000. Yep. So doesn't matter. I wanted the body on board. I should have just Digivolved at that point just to be a little bit beefier, but hey, you live and learn. I shouldn't have given him that much memory. Even to blow up that Commandermon in the left is not that great. Security check. Agumon, Professor Agumon. He's 2000 DP. Forget that they all gain this little inheritable from the Mishimon, which is a really bad thing. We get Happy Bullet. Happy Bullet deletes all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. So that one goes which really does help out being able to remove the little guys. But he gets the Commandramon. He gets a replacement Commandramon. He decides to go either with the blocker or the Commandramon that can replace itself. Which, to be honest with you, it's either the blocker or... I would go probably with the one that replaces itself because it makes it harder for me to just keep his board cleared. But he goes for the blocker, which is fine by me. So, less threatening target, but hey. He gets there, though. So, yep. I got my Geogreymon. I got a decent sized board coming along, but I can't get rid of his stuff quick enough. He's gonna go right into Darkdramon, meaning I'm kind of in a bad spot here. So he's gonna go right to 2. It's a tough matchup because unless you have the answers in your security, you really just don't have it out to everything. I mean, there's probably other ways I can go about this. To be honest with you, his board is not that scary, but I got a lot of threats I have to deal with. And if he can just keep me off my board state, I'm in trouble. He's got a full recycled Commandramon line coming back at me. So he's going to swing in, security check me. Get a Megadramon. I wish I had a Bonds in there. That Bonds would have at least killed that off. And then he goes and blows up everything I love and care about. Like, the one thing about this deck is if your opponent has a better control matchup, I'm kind of in trouble. So I go to 6, I draw, then I go right into Bonds of Bravery, aka Bonds of Courage. I think that was the best play, was to Digivolve up. I have nothing in my security. I'm kind of in a tight spot here. What I should have done, to be honest with you, is blow up the Commandramon. Taking it a lot slower, to be honest. So I don't trash anything from my security stack since I have 0 cards. He'll stay on the board for the turn. I draw for evolution. I get another Bonds. I'm gonna go to 3. I'm gonna swing once per turn. I'm gonna blow up the Commandramon. His first effect goes off. That goes trash first. And then I can security check twice. So that my opponent doesn't realize that it's trashed when I delete something. I should have swung into the Commandramon and then just used the Gaia Force to get rid of the other, just because that would have been the better play at the end of the day, to be honest with you. But that's my mistake. I should have just swung into the rested, deleted 2 Digimon out of that deal, take it even slower. So he activates it twice. That's my misplay. I should have just attacked into it. There's the Zawart. Doesn't matter. Like, I could have took the long game and just controlled everything, and that's the sad part. I could have just went a different route and just took it slower, which is very important. To take these games a lot slower, I should have swung in with that rested one. Then he only had blocker, and I could have just weighed on him with a, you know, our good friend Gaia Force. I would have just blown up whatever I wanted, and everything goes to the bottom of the deck because I didn't hit a Tamer. And then we're going right back into Bonds of Courage. 3 for him. I would have went Gaia Force. The right play in this situation, actually. Yeah, I can only do it once. I draw. There's the Atomic Blaster I needed. If I only had an extra couple memory, I would have been fine. He Digivolves into the Commandramons. He security checks me, and that is game, boys and girls. Game 1 to the Commandramons. Game 2. Let's see what we can do about this. So we flip up Demimera. I got not a very good hand. My hand is bricky as can be. I am very disappointed in my hand, to be honest with you. I really wish I had something better to go off of I have Happy Bullet. I got Greymons for days. I don't have an out in this situation. I just pass. I needed a rookie in my hand. Going second would have probably been better just to get that one draw dig. He flips up the Agumon, which is fine. He Digivolves into the Commandramon that replaces itself. Draw himself a card. He then plays the Commandramon for 2 to go to 1 for me. And then he's going to play his red Digimon, if I remember correctly, the Otamamon and Commandramon of 5,000 and 3,000. I can't get rid of 2 Digimon off of that trade. I really don't want to. So I Digivolve into the Agumon, go to 0, draw me a card. I get another Agumon. I'm like, do we blow up something, at least one card? Yeah, I'm like, it's a tough call, because if I don't do this right, I'm going to be costing myself everything. Digivolve into Greymon, that gains a security if I have a Agumon underneath. So I get the Agumon, which is not bad, but he's got 3 bodies on board already, and that's just a problem. I don't have an out in a situation. I swing, he swings, it's an Agumon. He takes care of that, but he's going to replace itself. He's going to reveal the top card of his deck. If it's black, it goes to his hand, which it whiffs, which is good for me. Next, he's going to reveal top 3. He gets a Commandramon out of it, sadly. I hate when he just replaces everything. I just can't keep up. Now he still has 3 bodies on board. So if our security has anything that can remove a couple bodies, we're pretty decent, which is good for me. We got 1,000, a 2,000, a 3,000, and a 5,000. Security check. It is 5,000. So at least that dies. So that's the good part. It dying. I don't like it. I don't like being hit this much. He swings in with the Commandramon. I get the tie. Let's go. So if he chokes me a bit, I can get out of this very easily. So let's see what he can do here. I got the Greymon out. He slams down another Commandramon. It goes, brings me to 1. I draw. Kind of wish I choke him back a little bit, so it forces him to give me 3 or follow-up play. So 2, draw me a card. I get Atomic Blaster that can kill out pretty much his whole board, which would be the better play. So Atomic Blaster into stuff, like debating. I goes for the swing, which was probably the bad play. Should have security checked twice there. Tried to go for it and see what happens. I'm like debating. I could have just used 1 Atomic Blaster to remove all 3, and that would have been the better play. I'm like debating on, do I just give him the 3 he needs? Which is the problem. Those 2 Digimon alone, he could get a Darkdramon out. I was in trouble. So he sees a Darkdramon and he gets another Commandramon out of the deal. I hate that he can get a replacement. I kill it. It should die. Replacing effects are just sometimes a big problem for this deck, just because I want to keep him off his stuff, but if they can just keep coming back, it's just a very problem for this deck. Missionmon Digivolves into Commandramon, drawing him a card, which that's what he needs to do. Then he swings in with the Commandramon. Security check. It is an Agumon. It is 3,000 DP to my 2,000 DP Mon, which I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it here. It's got enough to go into Darkdramon, and that's going to be a problem. He plays the tie out, and then he plays a Otamamon. So I'm like in dead range anyway, which sucks. I draw. I get a Gaia Force here. Kind of wish Megadramon put that there, but hey, we're going to have to hope for the best here. I flip up. I Digivolve into Agumon. Draw me a card. I'm really in a tight spot here. Doesn't matter what we do. I'm not even joking. I swing into his Digimon. I have to play this defensively and try to keep him off his board state, but it's already troubling me just to keep up. So let's see what he does. Bonds of Bravery and Courage is just a very Rookie Rush heavy top end. I feel like I need to tweak it some more before we can really say this. I have a solid list. this is a list that I'm using. So I played out the Mega Dramon, give him 10. He's got 3 cards in hand. I needed at least a way to buy a turn. I'm not joking. I needed to buy a turn. Hoping my security has something that'll just help keep everything off me. He swings in. Security check. It's just a basic Agumon. He swings in yet again. I hit a Gaia Force. I'm going to blow up the Otamamon because he's a little more bigger in the threat department. They're both beefy little guys. Just, I don't have an out to almost all this. So he plays the Dark Dramon finally. And I'm kind of in a bad spot here. He could have just literally just put 1 back and not cared. But all the Dark Dramons just go back. And it brings him down to 7. He's got just way too much memory. I wish he would just pass me the turn. He's got 3 cards in hand. This is going to be a big problem for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the difference, this deck, like what I can tell you, this deck, they both play the same style in a way. Atomic Blaster, remove that one off the board, which is good. We lose 1 body. That could be a problem. So he's debating on what to do here. I hate that he's at 7 because that means all his big option is live, and that's a problem. So let's see what he does here. He goes for the fist. It'll bring me right to 1. Lose Mega Dramon. I'm gonna draw. I get a Geo Greymon, which isn't bad. I promote up. Go to 2. Draw for the tie effect. I could use Happy Bullet to give him 5 and deletes all his Digimon. And then he has to just play back into everything. But like, I don't have an out in this situation unless I completely delete that Dark Dramon. Like, I need to get to bonds, but I don't have a way of choking him, which I should have just went for the choke afterwards. But it's like Dark Dramon's gonna win if I don't remove it. So I'm gonna swing with the Greymon. First security check. That goes to his hand, which is fine. Which is good because those cards going to hand means I don't lose my stuff. Nope. It goes to hand. So my opponent thought it'd activate main. So then 1 more security check. So this is where it gets really tough really quickly. I'm not joking. It's just really not an easy game. He hits the ultimate flare. Oh, I didn't want to see both of those big options in the security. That just cleared my whole board. I wish I could have kept my board state a little bit longer just so that I could hopefully get back out of this. But I have to remove his thing. Go Gaia Force at this point. I could have probably went to the Happy Bullet. Wouldn't have mattered. But I'm cleared. He's gonna just build a board real quick, and I'm just not. He has whatever the frig that card is. He's got Commandramon out. Draws himself a card. I'm like, I'm not in a good spot here. He plays down a tie. He goes to 4. Plays the Commandramon down, which is fine. I mean, doesn't matter. He's got lethal. I can't interact with the egg raising areas to remove any of his all this problem. He plays down the tie, goes to 2, and then he just straight up passes the turn. I draw my card. I'm gonna hatch. I'm gonna Digivolve here. Draw me a card. Get an Agumon expert. It doesn't really matter at this point. I'm kinda in a bad spot. Like, I have no way of recovering anything. I can blow up one of the Commandramons, but I just don't have a body blocker. And unlike his deck where he has at least a small blocker he can keep up, and his threats are just, his black pool is just a little bit stronger than my red pool. Greymon blows up that Commandramon. I bring him to 3. I mean, if I had one more security, I would have been fine. This Commandramon will try to swing in, and GG games. So guys, that was game 2. So hopefully you enjoyed the content. This was Bonds of Bravery / Bonds of Courage. I am going to be working on this deck a little bit more to see if I can get it to work extremely well. The problem I feel like the deck has overall is that it is dealing with the recycling mons, anything that can replace itself, because we are trying to control the board as best as we can. Anything that can replace itself for 1-for-1s are just our bad suit. We just don't have a way of dealing with it. So guys, hopefully you liked the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.